Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing fine. So today's video is all about books that I want to read before 2020 ends. So as you guys know that 2020 hasn't been a good year, and in terms of lifestyle changes, or in terms of mental health, or in terms of many other things, 2020 hasn't been a good year. But for me, 2020 has been a moderately good year, I would say, because I had a lot of interest in hobbies coming back to me, and also I had my second daughter in the year 2020. So I think it's kind of special and a very memorable year as well. So let's get started with today's video on books that I want to read before 2020 ends. So this is kind of a November and a December TBR. The very first book which I wanted to read in November and December is the Kite Runner, which I finished reading like 2 days back, and I totally love this book. Actually, this is the debut novel by the author, but actually this is the second book I'm reading from the authors, and I really love this book as I love the book A Thousand Splendid Suns by the same author, and I totally have no words to express how much this book meant to me. And this one talks about love, life, brotherhood, guilt, betrayal, fatherhood, and of course about the Taliban. There's so many good things about this book, and there's so many things that you have to carry, and you realize that this book has made you cry. So it's a very emotional book, and I think it's a must-read book for people who like to read genre like this. And I totally love this book, and the last page definitely put tears into my eyes, and I'm totally loving this book. I have a complete review of this book on my Instagram page, so if you want to follow me there and read the review, please do follow that and give a like on Instagram. Next book is The Stationery Shop of Tehran. I've already discussed about this book because I was having an e-book, but then I finished the first part of this book through my e-book, and I was lost somewhere, and I didn't feel the book. So I really wanted a physical book or a paperback, I would say. So I immediately ordered this on Flipkart when this was on a very good discount, because usually this book is never available on Amazon or Flipkart. If it is available, it is above 500. So when I saw this for 270, I guess I picked it, and I really liked the cover of the book. Right, and I'm currently reading this book, as you can see the bookmark here, and I'll be putting a review very soon on Instagram. What I want to read is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahari. I think this book was on my TBR for many months, but I couldn't read this book, and finally I want to read this book before 2020 ends. And I really like the blurb of this book, and I've read so many good reviews about this book. So this book is basically about an Bengali Indian family who moves to America, and they name their son as Gogul, which the son doesn't like, and he feels it to be awkward. And there's a clash between cultures, between generations, between promises. His relationship with women gets affected because of his family and his history. So he finally leaves his parents, and he wants to find his own identity apart from the name. So that's the whole blurb of this book. It sounds really interesting, and I think that this book will be a very good read of 2020. The fourth book which I want to read is The Nine-Chambered Heart by Janice Pauryat. It's a very small book, and it's about 9 characters who fall for the same woman. Either they have been loved by the woman or one-sidedly loved the woman. So I think these 9 characters will be describing the women and how it goes. And recently I read a Goodreads review about this book, and found out that this book is about an Indian woman, which made me more excited, and I added this to my November or December TBR. So the next book which I want to read is The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. So I think this book was also one of the most talked books, and I want to finish it by 2020. So this book is about a guy called Balram who becomes a rich man's driver, and later he kills that rich man and takes all of his money and becomes an entrepreneur. So I think it'll be a very interesting read, and I heard that this book talks about a lot of things in India like poverty, religion, caste, and loyalty. So let's see how it goes. The next book which I want to read is a Murakami's book. I want to read at least one Murakami book this year, so I picked The Norwegian Wood by the author. So this book is basically about a guy called Toru who loses his friend to suicide and wants to find life through a relationship. So I think he finds the female character, and I think this book talks about a lot about grief, emotions, death, relationships, love, and a lot about life. So I think it'll be a very interesting, a very magical read for 2020. So the last three books which I'm going to be reading for the year 2020 are very tiny books, less than 100 or 150 pages. So I selected these three books which I'm going to be showing you one by one because I want to finish these four books which I specified earlier, which are more than 200 pages book by 2020. First tiny book which I want to read in 2020 is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's We Should All Be Feminists. I think this book is a very important guide to know feminism in the 21st century. I think that's the only thing I could describe about this book. It's a 55 pages book, I guess, and the font size is also very good. So I think it'll be a very interesting read and a more educating read for me. So I'm looking forward to reading this beauty. This book which I want to read is a Ruskin Bond book, The Blue Umbrella. So this is also, I think, it's an 80 pages notebook, and I don't have any idea about the blurb or the story. I just want to give it a read like a small child. So I really like the illustrations inside, and I think I'll be finishing it very soon. The last read will be Boundary by Anukriti Upadhyay. So I recently picked this book and I really like the blurb of this book, and I found so many good reviews on Bookstagram. So this book is about a nomadic blacksmith girl who gets into child marriage and who's sent to her husband's home at a very early age, and somehow she falls into love with her husband. But her husband, you know, he has extramarital affairs and he sleeps with most of the women in the village, and she gets to find all of this. So this love turns into a fearsome and a destructive power. So I think it'll be a very interesting read. So I'm going to be reading the blurb of this book so that you guys get an idea of this book. Boundary is married, as is the custom in her tribe of nomadic blacksmith, when she is still a child. When she is finally sent away to her husband's home as a young woman, she finds herself drawn deeply and powerfully towards the gruff and handsome Bhima. Bhima, however, is far from the ideal husband, and when she strays one time too many, Boundary's love for him begins to fester and grow into something dark and fearsome. This is a story of obsessive love and destructive power of desire. That's all about the book, and watch out for a complete review on Instagram very soon. And if you're not following me on Instagram, please do follow them. So those were the 10 books which I want to read before 2020 ends, and I'm hopefully waiting to read all of those books because all of those are very interesting titles. And if you have read any of these, please do let me know on the comments. I'll be happy to read them. So I'll be meeting you all in my next one. Till then, take care and stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.